the station taking action for you. This is ABC Action News.
The Breaking News Center keeping busy as you were sleeping.
We have 3 breaking news stories to get to right now at 5. At this hour, Tampa police are investigating a deadly nightclub shooting. A county bomb squad is called out to a vehicle filled with weapons at USF, and a motorcyclist crashes and is run over on I-275 overnight.
We're taking action, staying on top of all these breaking news stories for you this morning. But first, to that deadly shooting outside a Tampa nightclub, and police trying to figure out who is responsible.
We want to get right out to Ashley Yours. She's live now with the details. Ashley, police are saying that the location is especially troubling. Explain why.
I just spoke with police, and they are hoping to have all of this cleared up within about 2 hours. And let me show you why. Take a look at where the shooting happened, and now look over what's about 2 blocks away, a Magnet Elementary School. Now, right now, we know a man is in his 20s was found dead here outside Club Underground. Police tell me they think he was someone who was at the club, but they're still working to confirm who he is. Police say witnesses flagged down a police officer patrolling the area, and the victim was found on the ground dead. And police tell me they get a lot of calls to this club. Last year, a man was shot in the leg outside of this very same nightclub. Now, back out here live, you can see this is a very active scene. Homicide detectives are mapping out exactly what happened. So right now, police say the victim was on the other side of the street and tried to walk back to the club. And that's what they are marking right now. Now, police still have not released any information about suspects. If you do know anything, call police. Reporting live in downtown Tampa, I'm Ashley Yoor, ABC Action News.
Thanks, Ashley. On breaking overnight, Tampa police arresting a heavily armed man at Fletcher and Magnolia right on the USF campus. On the day, students begin moving into dormitories. Officers so concerned about what they found in 29-year-old Clay Allred's Jeep, they called out the bomb squad. Police telling us Allred got into an argument with a gas station attendant on North 30th Street, using an ethnic slur before firing at the victim 3 times. When officers pulled over Allred's Jeep, they found a lot of military equipment, as they're describing it, including 2 pistols, an AR-15 assault rifle. Right now, Allred is being charged with a hate crime and for shooting from his vehicle.
And also breaking overnight, a motorcyclist has possible life-threatening injuries after crashing on I-275 in Tampa. Police say the cyclist rear-ended a car, fell off his bike, and then was run over and dragged by an SUV. That man was pinned under the SUV. Officers helped free him. He was taken to Tampa General Hospital, and we are continuing to make phone calls this morning, checking on his condition. We'll have more of today's top stories coming up in just a moment, but first we want to check in with Shay now for a look at Florida's most accurate forecast. Shay?
Yeah, good morning, Dia. And things are looking pretty good if you're headed out the door right now. It's nice and dry. The temperatures are warm. It's muggy. It's a typical Florida morning. So, again, no big surprises right now. We've got temperatures anywhere from 70 degrees in Zephyr Hills to 84 in St. Pete. It's 80 in Tampa right now. Now, Florida's most accurate day planner is going to show you a really hot day today. We've got a lot of sunshine in store. We're up to 90 by noon. We've got about 30% coverage of showers and storms this afternoon, which is a little higher than what it was yesterday, but we're still not looking at a very wet day overall. These are going to be some quick moving storms from west to east across the area. So, Lindsay, this morning we've got dry roads. Later on this afternoon, maybe a few wet ones. But are you seeing any problems?
Already, Shay, it is a busy morning. Absolutely. Yeah, people in Pinellas County want to get right to this one. Traffic lights are out at one of the busiest intersections in St. Pete, in Pinellas, rather. This is going to be US 19 at Ulmerton. Florida Highway Patrol confirming to me they're not only out, some of them are actually down. So we're making calls to find out what's going on there. Treat this as a 4-way stop until it's repaired. Also, drivers out to the beach. Indian Rocks Beach Causeway is closed at this hour. This is a breaking news story that we're making phone calls on. Apparently, there's a water rescue going on in that area. So again, the causeway to Indian Rocks Beach is closed. You can actually use the Bel Air Causeway to the north to get around that. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we'll have some real-time drive times for you and a live look outside. Dan?
5:04, and now to the crisis in Iraq. The U.S. military continuing to launch more airstrikes at Islamic State militants despite a threat to kill American journalist Steven Sotloff. And that threat came in the same video showing the beheading of American James Foley. President Obama is calling Islamic State a, quote, cancer threatening the entire area, and vows the U.S., quote, will be relentless to protect its citizens. The administration says Mr. Obama sent special ops troops to Syria this summer to try to rescue U.S. hostages held by the militants. However, those hostages could not be found. Right now, a petition on the White House website demands the president save Steven Sotloff's life by any means necessary. The former UCF student was kidnapped in Syria in 2013. I just tweeted out a link to the petition. You can follow me on Twitter at DanSchaefer28.
This morning, we're expecting an accused killer to make his first appearance in a Hillsborough County courtroom. Just last night, deputies arrested Robert Henderson for allegedly robbing and killing Shelby Jones early this month in Seffner. Investigators say they saw Henderson in a stolen vehicle. They say he took off and crashed before running into the woods and jumping into a pond. Henderson is now facing several charges, including murder.
Happening today, a second day of deliberations for the jury deciding the fate of the accused killer of a Lakeland police officer. Kyle Williams is charged with the murder of Officer Arnulfo Crispin. The jury worked for 8 hours yesterday before asking the judge if they could continue in the morning. The judge ordered all jurors sequestered at an undisclosed location. Police say Crispin was searching a group of people at a Lakeland park in 2011, and that's when they say Williams pulled out a gun and killed Crispin. Williams may face the death penalty if convicted. Our coverage of this case doesn't stop here. We'll send out an alert as soon as a verdict is reached right to your cell phone. Just download the ABC Action News mobile app. Breaking overnight, officers in Ferguson, Missouri made only 6 arrests last night. Demonstrators were significantly smaller and more orderly. Authorities saying it was, quote, a very good night in Ferguson. Officers did not have to use any tear gas or fire any shots. Officials credit an appearance by Attorney General Eric Holder as a calming influence. The grand jury is now reviewing evidence in the shooting death of Michael Brown, but it may take months to determine whether Officer Darren Wilson should face charges.
And day and out here at the .com wall, we are continuing our coverage on the unrest right now in Ferguson. Ferguson is still trending right now on social media. Just last night, Missouri Governor Jay Nixon was very active on Twitter explaining what he's doing to try to bring calm to that city. Take a look at this right here. He tweeted out this photo just last night. That's him there meeting with the Ferguson area school officials, going over how to talk to kids about the protest. Most schools there were actually supposed to start last week, but because of the unrest, it looks like the first days of school for most kids now won't be until next week. And then come over here and take a look at this right here. This story, let me move this out of the way for you so that you can see it a little bit better. This story is also trending online. That's a protester captured in an interaction with a police officer on video, in which that officer points an assault rifle at him and then cursed at him and threatened to kill him. Now, the person who shot the video can be heard saying, "My hands are up." ABC News is reporting another officer had to step in and ask him to put down his gun, and that officer has been suspended. And then come down here, right here. You can see that the outcry over what's going on in Ferguson and Michael Brown's death is now happening all over the world. This picture right here was posted from Moscow, where a crowd demonstrated outside the U.S. Embassy. So certainly this story keeps developing. Of course, count on us to bring you developments all throughout the next 2 hours, and then you'll have updates as well coming up after this newscast on Good Morning America.
Right now, 2 Bay Area workers are recovering in the hospital after being shot while trimming trees. Deputies telling us 50-year-old Lance Russell and 32-year-old Stephen Hansen were working in Largo when their ladder hit a power line, knocking both men to the ground. Luckily for them, a neighbor saw it happen and rushed in to help.
I just came to the road there, saw him convulsing, saw the other guy that he was incoherent, and I just said, I've got to call help.
Another neighbor performed CPR on one of the victims before paramedics arrived. Both men survived, but their conditions right now are unknown.
9 minutes after 5 right now. We're taking action for your money this morning with some news that hundreds of thousands of Bay Area Duke Energy customers need to hear this morning. You may get sticker shock over this month's bill. There's been a change in the company's meter reading schedule, which means that some customers are temporarily seeing an additional 12 days of use on this month's bill. That longer billing cycle means it's more likely that customers will hit a usage limit, meaning they'll start paying a higher cost for the power on the tail end of that cycle. Now, we took action. We spoke with consumer advocates. Unfortunately, they tell us that there is not much that can be done. Duke Energy says if you can't afford the bigger bill, you can make payments on it. And if you need that help, we've posted the phone number to call. It's on our website, abcactionnews.com.
Up next in the Breaking News Center, I'm tracking down details in the beating of 3 women in Manatee County.
And also the mystery surrounding a possible high-speed ferry in our